Picture this. You're standing in a parking lot, minding your own business, when suddenly the ground rumbles like a mini earthquake. You turn around, expecting a bulldozer, and instead you see this. A massive, squared-off, military commander-looking beast rolling towards you like it just escaped from a billionaire survival bunker. This isn't a Range Rover that spent too much time in the gym. This isn't a G-Wagon trying to cosplay as Batman's tank. This is BYD's Yangwang U8L, an SUV so big, so dramatic, it makes full-size American trucks look like they skipped leg day. It doesn't just arrive, it enters the frame slowly, confidently, like it knows something you don't. And trust me, you're not ready. Because everything on the outside screams, I am rich, but the real shock comes when you see what's inside. The first time I saw the U8L, I genuinely thought BYD had built a secret presidential edition just for fun. Like, they asked their designers, what if we made an SUV that looks like it comes with its own private army? The front grille? It's not a grille. It's a chandelier made of chrome and ego. Huge vertical bars, sculpted edges, and these LED DRLs that look like someone stole them from a concept car nobody was supposed to see yet. And the U8L is long. Industry sources say it stretches past 5.4 meters, which means it's longer than a Cadillac Escalade ESV. Yes, BYD made a Chinese SUV bigger than the car Americans used to move entire families across states. Walk around it and everything is oversized. The squared-off profile, the gigantic greenhouse, the massive fenders that look like they were shaped using Thor's hammer. It's the first SUV I've seen where the side steps genuinely look necessary, not decorative. You need them to climb in. This thing has the presence of a building. Even the wheels look clean enough to eat off of. Huge multi-spoke alloys wrapped in tires that whisper, I could climb a mountain, but I also won't mind dropping your kids off at school. Then there are the headlights. BYD calls this design language time gate. It sounds like something from a Marvel movie, but visually it fits. Those DRLs look like portals. Like one wrong turn and this car teleports you into a different tax bracket. And look, I've reviewed a lot of cars, but the U8L, it has a weird energy. Like it's trying to say, yes, I cost half of what a Range Rover does, but I still look like I could buy your Range Rover and then hire it as a driver. Before we step inside, because that's where the real shock is, make sure you hit that like button. It tells YouTube that you're into insane machines like this, and it tells me to keep sacrificing my sleep for videos like these. Now, open the door and just wait. Stepping into the Yangwang U8L is like walking into a luxury tech lounge designed by someone who binge-watched every sci-fi movie ever made. The moment the door swings open, the smell hits you first. That fresh, expensive leather smell that makes you question your life decisions. The cabin doesn't feel Chinese luxury, it feels luxury. Everywhere you touch, there's leather, wood, metal, nothing feels cheap. Nothing creaks, nothing pretends to be something else. The stitching looks like someone did it while listening to meditation music. It's that clean. The seats are massive, sofa-level massive. Soft, wide, supportive. They feel like something you'd find in a private jet. And then the tech. Bro, BYD did not come to compete, they came to embarrass. Front and center is a widescreen display that stretches more than it needs to. Super crisp, no lag, no cheap animations. Then you turn your head, boom, another screen for the passenger. Turn again, rear passengers, screens everywhere. This SUV has more displays than my editing setup. The center console is a slab of glossy richness with crystal-style knobs that look like they belong in a jewelry store. Even the start button feels like something you'd press to launch SpaceX. The ambient lighting glows around the cabin, soft blues, warm ambers, customizable tones, all flowing along the dash, doors, floors, seats, everything. It genuinely feels like a luxury spaceship. The first thought I had was, how is this not more expensive? Because you sit here, surrounded by tech and comfort, and you start comparing it in your mind. A Range Rover costs way more, a BMW X7 doesn't feel this futuristic, a Mercedes GLS has the badge, but the U8L has the vibe. Then you notice the details. The soft closed doors, the heavy feeling switches, the suede pillars, the panoramic roof that makes the whole room feel like a floating lounge. If this video disappears from YouTube tomorrow, just know BYD probably kidnapped me and forced me to test drive their cars. So subscribe for safety. Anyway, let's talk size, because this SUV is so long you could measure it using a compass and a prayer. The wheelbase is stretched so much that second-row passengers could probably file taxes back there. Legroom is ridiculous. Headroom? Even if you're 6'5", you'll be fine. Storage? Oversized everything. Huge door bins, massive center console, hidden compartments. In the trunk, you could put 3 suitcases, 2 backpacks, and still have space left for your uncle who always wants a ride. Now, numbers, carefully, because everything I'm about to say comes from manufacturer claims and industry sources. The U8L uses a quad motor setup. Yes, 4 motors. Each wheel has its own motor, giving it torque vectoring so advanced it could probably dance on an ice rink. Manufacturer claims say the combined output is over 1,100 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, around 3.6 seconds if those claims are true. That means this 5-meter building on wheels accelerates like a supercar. The battery uses BYD's Blade tech. Range? CLTC claims somewhere around 1,000 kilometers when using its extended range system. The coolest part? It can crab walk, spin in place, and even float in emergencies, at least according to BYD's emergency operation claims. Tesla, BMW, Mercedes, they don't even have a button for that. Now let's get to the price. And trust me, this part hurts feelings. While Western brands want you to believe luxury must cost $150K to $250K, industry sources say the Yangwang U8L sits around the equivalent of $150K plus, depending on the configuration. Look, $150K is not cheap, but when you compare it to a $200K Range Rover, $175K Mercedes Maybach GLS, or $180K BMW XM, and then look at what the U8L offers, suddenly this thing feels like the deal of the decade. Luxury, tech, size, performance, at a price that undercuts the big players. And here's the part that scares Western brands. This SUV proves China isn't catching up. They're leapfrogging. More features, more tech, more luxury at prices legacy brands cannot match. If the U8L ever launched in the US or Europe, it would shake the entire luxury market. I'm talking boardroom panic, emergency Zoom meetings, people sweating into their suits. Because this isn't cheap plastic pretending to be premium. This is genuine luxury that makes a lot of Western stuff look outdated. But here's the catch. Nothing is perfect. Some experts still question long-term reliability because Chinese luxury tech hasn't been out long enough to test over a decade. That in global service networks and regulatory approvals, still a question mark. And the biggest controversy? Will buyers trust a new luxury brand over Mercedes, BMW, or Land Rover? So here's the question. If the U8L came to your country tomorrow, would you trust it over a Range Rover? Tell me in the comments because I'm genuinely curious. If you made it this far, you're a legend. I spend hours, literally nights, digging through sources, translating pages, editing at 2 a.m. with a laptop and cold chai. I'm not a studio, I'm just one guy trying to bring you the truth. When you hit subscribe, it's not a number, it's a thank you. So drop your thoughts below. Would you buy the Yangwang U8L? Or is it too much tech in one giant metal box? And hey, stay tuned, because next video, I'm bringing something even crazier. See you soon, Torque family.